How you doing? It's Mike Shue. I was going to do the vinyl dump in my office, the usual place we do the vinyl dump today, but I think, well, you take a look at this. I I don't think I should have to work in conditions like this. Do you? So we're going to move the vinyl dump location to a place that's a little less. We'll be right back. Whew, this is much better, and it smells a lot better. I'm just gonna light the old cut lawn candle over here, and yeah, that's much better. All right. So we're gonna do the vinyl dump in a different area today, and I thought I'd focus in on the 7-inch single, the way we used to get our single songs back in the day. 7-inch single is a little rarer now, only for specialty releases and bands that are feeling extra artsy. But back then, you would get your single songs. You'd go and buy a 7-inch single, and you get your little 45 adapter so you could play it on your record player. But you know, the artwork usually had some different things from the album, and it was always cool to look at. I love the specialty stuff. When I first started getting into U2, I found these U2 4-packs, which are pretty awesome. Back in the day, it was kind of, it was hard to find music. You didn't have the internet to do it. So to come across something like this and find a new band with a package of 45s like this was pretty awesome. These are all singles that were released in Europe first. These weren't released in the United States until a little while later in the 80s. But, this is actually their first EP right here. Had 3 songs on it, Boy, Girl, and Stories for Boys, and Out of Control. Before U2 broke it out in America, when they came to Boston to play those first gigs, that pretty much made them famous. CBS and Island Records decided to release these singles in Europe, test it out a little bit, and the sound is vastly different. These are actually different recordings from what you hear on U2's first album, Boy, except for this one right here, I Will Follow. That's pretty much the single from the album, but these are pre-Boy album recordings. And the production's very sparse. You can tell they did it very quickly and spent very little money on it, but still sounding pretty great. Of course, these days U2 sounds vastly different than they did back then, when they were still mostly in their teens. And all of this stuff was exclusive to Europe. And then later on, after this sold pretty well, a lot of people bought these. They came out with this one later when they released the October album. And these are some great singles on here, Day Without Me and Gloria and Fire. And the artwork on these is pretty awesome. And then, of course, you have the guys in Van Halen putting out some really great packaging here. Van Halen, not just a massive band, but visually very entertaining band. And so this single for Hot for Teacher, which had the Little Dreamer B-side, which was pretty interesting, came with a little Van Halen poster. Fantastic. I loved it when they did this with 45s. They gave you the little pin-up for the room, and you could use either Eddie Van Halen or Dave for the covers here. And then here, of course, Michael Anthony and Alex Van Halen, which nobody really wanted on their wall, but they put up with because they were with these two guys. But that was a pretty cool 45. Here's the February-March 1992 Sub Pop Singles Club double helping of Prairie Belt Smoked Sausage. They called it Smells Like Smoked Sausage because around that time, Smells Like Teen Spirit was taken off from Nirvana. They had Nirvana had moved on from Sub Pop to Geffen Records, but Sub Pop had this great singles club, and if you joined up, got a subscription, they'd send you every month interesting packaging, as well as interesting music. Like over here, on this is for Boss Hog, God Bullies on this one, and over here a song from Surgery, and some band called Helmet, who later had a little bit of success. I love the pink vinyl. This is fantastic, very candy-like. And then over here, more like the solid pink vinyl with some white wisps in it, like cotton candy. You can just smell the greatness coming right off of it. And great artwork here. Makes me very hungry for processed meat products in a can. Which, by the way, that's kind of what Helios Creed sounds like. So there you go. Couple of 45s from the collection, and don't forget, Record Store Day is coming up on April 16th, so go out there, support your local record store, buy some great vinyl. There's a lot of bands putting out a lot of great specialty vinyl specifically for that day. And you can check it all out at recordstoreday.com. So until then, please enjoy this copy of The Watchtower.
WAAF.com.